Alright, here's our review for tomorrow's quiz over percentages and writing equations for percentages. For number one, I ask you for the amount of tax equation. Since I ask you to write an equation that shows the relationship, I'm asking you for the equation. So you start with the amount of tax equation. A equals T times P. Then you replace the variables with the numbers from the problem. So A, the amount of tax, we don't know. T, the tax rate, we know. And P, the price, we know. $8.99. And that's it. Now, when you go to solve this, you've got to understand that 6% is not the same as 6. In your calculator, there is a percentage key that if you put in 6 and then hit that percentage key, it's actually one of those numbers that are above the button, so you have to hit second and then that button. But your calculator will change 6% to 0.06. Because 6% is 6 out of 100, 6 hundredths. So now we can solve this any way we want to. We've already got the equation, so we could do 6%, A equals 6%, that's 0.06, times 8.99, and we get A equals 0.5394, and since this is a dollar value, we'd round it up. Look at that label. Gotta have a label. To 54 cents. So tax is 54 cents. You can solve it that way. Or you can use a proportion, because we can always use proportions on percentage problems. I want to find 6% of $8.99, since this is the amount of tax. I'm looking for 6% of $8.99. I would solve this like I always solve proportions. Here's my missing value. So I take this cross product, I multiply, and then I divide by 100, and I'll get the same amount, 0.5394, which I'd round to 54 cents. And I'm including labels because I want a 4.0 on my quiz. Alright, moving on. Number 3, I'm asking you for the total cost equation. And that one, it starts with the total cost is 100% plus the percentage of tax times the price. So now I can replace the variables with the numbers I've given. Got to be careful on this one. Total cost is $53.49. So that means $53.49 replaces this C. I know the tax is 7%, so I can replace T with 7%, and I'm just going to add them to save time. 100% plus 7% is 107%. Time stays the same. The original price is the part we don't know. The other way to write this, 107% is not 107. It's 107%. Your calculator knows that 107% is the same as 1.07. And if you're sitting there wondering, where did he get 107%? I just took 100% and added the tax rate. Because this total cost, the equation means I'm going to pay 100% of the price plus whatever the tax rate is times the price. I'm going to pay 107% times the price, or 1.07 times the price. So now I've got to find the price of the video game before tax. I could solve this equation, or I could use a proportion like we've always done. So I know the total cost. I know that I'm going to pay 100% of the price plus another 7% of the price. That's the part I'm going to pay. The price of the game plus 7% of that price. I know that the price plus the tax is $53.49, so I can use that to find what the price was before tax. So there's my missing value. I multiply here, my cross products, divide by that one, and I'd get $49.99. If you're wondering where I got that 107, why I put it up here, it's because I'm going to pay 100% of the price, and then I'm going to pay that 7% tax. So in the end, my cost, my total cost, is going to be 107% of the price. Moving further. That's probably the hardest problem on your quiz. Number 5, commission. It's just a straight percentage problem. Dave sells cell phones. He earns 14% commission. So that means Dave gets 14% of whatever he sells. So it says he sells $1,248. So that means he gets 14% of that amount. The amount he sells is our 100%. He gets 14% of that. So he would earn $174.42. Since our missing value is right here, we'd multiply these two and divide by that one. Now if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind. Watch it again. If you didn't get it, rewind and watch it again. I want to leave a tip. I know this says the total cost of your meal, and you might be thinking about the total cost equation, but this is just about leaving a tip. So my meal costs $18.80. That's what I would pay the restaurant. But I want to leave 20% of that amount for the server. So I can solve it this way. There's my missing value, which means I'm multiplying these two and dividing by that one. And I would end up with $3.76. $3.76. That's the amount of the tip. Gratuity is just tip that I would leave for the server. Since the meal and everything costs $18.80, I would leave 20% of that. Finally, we're using that interest formula. I equals P times R times T. It says what is the amount of interest, so that means I'm going to find the amount of interest. The principal is $450. That's the amount I put in the bank. The rate of interest is 3%, which is not the same as 3. 3% is 0.03, 3/100ths. And the time, that's 5 years. So I multiply all those together, and I get the interest amount. Sorry, this is getting squished. It's tough to write with the mouse. Is $67.50. So my total balance in the bank, I put in $450. They're giving me $67.50. So that means at the end of 5 years, I have the amount I put in plus the interest, which would be $517.50. Thanks for watching. Good luck tomorrow.